Imagine a loyal dog who vanishes after a heartbreaking explosion, only to find his way back to the family he swore to protect. What if a rainy day at a busy airport holds a miracle no one saw coming? This is the true story of Zayn, a German shepherd whose love never let go. Grab your dog, give them a big hug, and step into a tale that will warm your heart like a puppy cuddle on a cold day. Have you ever watched your dog tilt their head, as if they were remembering something special? Maybe it's a walk you once took together or the sound of your laugh from years ago. Dogs like Zayn remind us that their hearts hold memories deeper than we can ever truly know. His journey is proof of a love that endures beyond distance, beyond tragedy, beyond even death itself. What follows is not just a story about a dog, but about a promise kept, about healing, and about the invisible threads that bind us to the ones we love most. 3 years before everything changed, in the small town of Fairburn where green hills rolled against the horizon and neighbors greeted each other by name, Officer Thomas Rains and his K-9 partner Zayn were inseparable. Thomas was known as the kind of officer who would stop to pet every stray dog he saw, always offering a smile and a gentle word. Zayn, with his gleaming coat and eyes full of intelligence and trust, was more than a working dog, he was family. Together they shared long days of patrols and nights of quiet companionship. After duty, Thomas would toss a stick into the field, laughing at Zayn's effortless leaps, and at night Zayn would curl by his boots, the steady rhythm of his snoring blending with the quiet hum of Thomas sipping coffee. Their lives were a reflection of loyalty and devotion, a partnership built on trust so strong that each knew the other would never let go. That trust was tested one tragic afternoon during a raid at an old factory on the edge of town. The air was heavy with the scent of wet pine and something sharper, something dangerous that clung to the shadows. Thomas crouched down, adjusted Zayn's vest, and whispered, "Stick with me, buddy." Zayn's tail wagged, his gaze fixed on his partner. Then came the explosion, a deafening blast that tore the ground apart, filling the air with smoke, fire, and chaos. In the aftermath, Thomas's body was found beneath the rubble. But Zayn was gone. The town mourned, gathering with candles flickering in the night, grieving the man who had given his life in service. Thomas's sister Elena took his ashes home in a simple wooden box and set them by her window. Anger burned inside her grief. Looking at the box, she whispered through tears, "If Zayn loved you, why didn't he save you?" Yet, somewhere deep down, a fragile hope lingered that maybe Zayn's story was not yet over. Unknown to anyone, Zayn had survived the explosion. Trapped under debris, his body broken, his leg shattered, his ear torn, blood clinging to his fur, he clung to life with a strength born only of love. For hours he lay buried, his breaths shallow, until the K-9 Mercy Corps, a group dedicated to rescuing injured service dogs, detected a faint heat signal beneath the rubble. They dug frantically until they uncovered him, battered but alive. Rushed to a veterinary clinic, he underwent surgeries through the night, bones set, wounds stitched. For weeks afterward, he lay motionless on a mat, staring out at the falling rain through the window, silent, unresponsive. The staff named him Zero, believing his past was erased, that he was starting over from nothing. But Zayn had not forgotten. On rainy days, he would limp to the corner, ears drooping, eyes heavy with memory, waiting for someone who would never return. Kayla, one of the trainers, noticed his strange stillness. One afternoon she tossed him a squeaky toy, and though he did not chase it, his eyes followed with an intensity that spoke of a soldier still on duty, still bound to something unseen. She whispered, "You're missing someone, aren't you?" Slowly, Zayn began to heal, his training instincts resurfacing. He sniffed out hidden treats, responded to commands, and yet, on days when the rain poured, his gaze would drift toward the window, caught in the past, as though waiting for the echo of Thomas's voice. Years later, on a rainy morning in Anchorage Airport, Zayn, now working with Officer Collins, was scanning luggage with sharp focus. At exactly 9:12 a.m., a familiar scent hit him like lightning. It was the faint aroma of old wood, dust, and rain, the smell of the wooden box Thomas's ashes had been placed in. Across the crowded hall, Elena walked in, her blue scarf trailing behind her, the box clutched tightly in her arms. Zayn froze mid-step, ears pricking high. Without warning, he lunged forward, the leash slipping from Collins's grasp. Passengers gasped as he dodged carts and strollers, sprinting straight toward her. The box fell, rolling across the tiles as Elena stumbled to the ground. Security rushed forward, but Zayn stood guard over the box, trembling, his amber eyes locked on Elena's face. For a heartbeat, the world went still. Elena's breath caught as she whispered, "Zayn." His tail gave a tentative wag, and in that moment she knew. Her tears spilled freely as she reached for him, stroking his scarred fur. Collins shouted for control, but Zayn would not move. He pressed against Elena protectively, just as he had once shielded Thomas. It was as if 3 years of pain collapsed into that one reunion, like a dog nudging you silently after the worst day of your life, promising that you are not alone. In a quiet room, Elena explained through sobs, "He was my brother's partner." Collins checked records, and the vet confirmed the truth. His scars, his microchip, all proved that Zero was truly Zayn. Elena cupped his face, whispering, "You didn't leave him. You never left him." Papers were signed, names restored. He was no longer Zero. He was Zayn again, loyal and whole. Back in Fairburn, Elena buried her brother's ashes beneath a lavender tree on a hill that overlooked the town. Rain trickled down as Zayn lay beside the fresh earth, his head resting on the ground as though keeping watch. Elena knelt, whispering, "You kept your promise." His tail thumped once against the soil. From then on, Zayn lived with Elena. They walked the familiar streets, sat together on the porch at dusk, and found comfort in the simple rituals of life. At night, he would lie at the foot of her bed, guarding her dreams the way he had once guarded Thomas. Weeks passed, and every Saturday they visited Thomas's grave. Elena placed fresh flowers and once even set a photo of Thomas and Zayn by the stone. Zayn sat quietly, a single leaf falling onto his back, his presence steady, unshaken. Elena would smile through her tears and whisper, "He'd love this." Children from the town grew fond of the dog who had survived so much. An elderly man often left a bone at the grave, and families would wave to Elena and Zayn as they walked by, a living reminder of resilience. On stormy days when thunder cracked, Zayn would tremble and press close to her side. She would hold him gently and say, "I've got you," giving him the comfort he once gave others. The town eventually honored Zayn with a small ceremony. A medal was placed around his neck, shining against his dark coat as people applauded. Elena began a blog titled Zayn's Journey, sharing his story of loss, survival, and reunion. Her words reached hearts far beyond Fairburn, touching those who had loved and lost, reminding them that hope sometimes returns in unexpected ways. Zayn became more than just a dog, he became a symbol of love that refuses to break, of memories that survive even the harshest storms. And so life moved forward. Elena and Zayn continued their rituals, healing together day by day. Sometimes, when the rain fell against the window, Zayn would still stare as though listening for Thomas's voice. Elena would watch him, her heart aching yet full, knowing that in a way, Thomas was still with them both. The bond they shared had not ended in that explosion, it had transformed, carrying on through Zayn, through the love that refused to fade. This story is more than just about one dog. It's about every dog who has ever waited by the door for you to come home, every wagging tail that lifts your spirits when you're down, every soft nudge reminding you that you are loved. It's about promises kept in silence, about healing in the presence of loyalty. Next time the rain falls and your dog curls by your side, remember Zayn. Remember that sometimes love finds its way back when you least expect it. If this story warmed your heart, take a moment to hug your loyal friend. Like this video if you've ever been comforted by a wagging tail, share it with someone who loves dogs as much as you do, and comment with your dog's name and your favorite memory, whether it's a park run, a silly bark, or a quiet night together. And don't forget to subscribe to K9 Miracle Stories for more tales of loyalty, courage, and the miracles our four-legged friends bring into our lives. Because just like Zayn, your dog might be carrying a story of love that could change someone's world.